Welcome to episode 51 of our Dusty Survival series. This month, I attempt to harvest a crop that just isn't ready, while Dusty is on the verge of potato production.
Is that a joke?
Yeah, it's a joke, Dusty. They'll get it when they see the verges. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I hope you've all had a lovely week. Where are we? Let's have a quick look. Yes, it is quite late. Dusty and I had a bit of a lie-in this morning. My alarm didn't go off, which is ridiculous. So we are starting the day quite late. I think we'll be fine though. We really did push on at the end of last month and got an awful lot done behind the scenes just to make sure that we're all geared up for the next 12 months. So we are sat at $413,000 bucks. Still a really nice number in the bank. It's October. We're going to have a fairly dry day by the looks of it. Let's start off by having a look at the state of the animals. Plenty of wool here, as you can see. In fact, absolutely rafts and rafts of it. And that is the reason why the truck is already up here. I knew that we're going to have to do some moving. So I brought everything up and we can get that moved shortly. And I suspect the same is going to be true for the chickens and the eggs. Let me just get my torch on here. There we go. Really should get some lights, I think, out here. So we've got, what have we got? Another 5. Yeah, almost 5. We've also got all of the pallets out here. So I think one of our first jobs will certainly be to get the truck, as you can see, and get it loaded in. We also need to give the sheep a little bit of feed. There's some grass here which I can give them. That's been sat there for a month or so, so that's been just starting to ferment, which is a fine. Let's have a wander down to our meadow and see how we are down there. At the end of last month, again I did mention this but did it off camera, me and Dusty whizzed around and gave this another mow so we can get as much into our silage as possible. And you can see we haven't quite finished picking everything up just yet. The Massey is down there, and I think Dusty, is he down there? I can't quite see. But we need to pick those up. We also need to have a bit of a tidy up. All the machinery is kicking about all over the place, as you can see. So there's a little bit of work to be done there. If we head over to our fields, yes, we managed to get the crop in, which was a bit touch and go. We ended up doing this really quite late at night. Let me just bring my HUD up here so we can have a look. It needs weeding, so we will need to bring up the sprayer, and it also needs rolling, but too late for that now. We've got crop in. And if I hop and skip and jump through all of these boulders, you'll see the other field we have up here is ready to receive crop. We haven't drilled this one yet. We just ran out of time, quite frankly, but you can see it has been fertilized with one-stage fertilization, and it's been given some lime. So again, another job just to get this seeded with a bit of wheat. I think we're going in here, and yeah, that should get rid of the weeds actually at the same time. And then I think we will roll this just to maximize the yield. Not really much to say about where the old barn used to be. We just have not had the time to do anything about it. That's something which is certainly on the radar, and we will get round to doing something here. I just haven't quite decided what to do with it yet. I'm going to grab the truck. Dusty's let me use his today. We thought we'd have a bit of a swap. We always said that we would share the two vehicles because they're just both fantastic. So yeah, I'm going to give Dusty's a bit of a go today. Head down to the main warehouse, to the brewery, check on things down there, and just generally have a look at the state of various production chains, because obviously harvest time just means that we are so busy that we don't really have time to check on anything. Oh, and I really should get rid of this pumpkin now. Just before we go, I mean, we've got to have a listen to this. Oh, mind that. It's just such a peach. She's absolutely purring. Beautiful. Love it. Oh. While we head down to our warehouse and check on the rest of our production chains, I want to speak to you, the viewer. Yes, that's you. No, not you, Woodsman. Not you, Darv. Not you, Ian. No, not you, Fella Smeller. Not any of you guys that have commented before. But you. You know who you are. You're the watcher, but you're not a subscriber. Why are you not subscribed? How are you possibly going to know when the next Dusty video drops into your inbox? So scroll down now, hit that little red button, subscribe. It's all good stuff here, guys. Help us out. Let's get the channel up to, I don't know, a couple more hundred than we're on now at least. So if you like the content, thumbs up and let me help you out. Here we go. This is what you got to do. Click subscribe. Cheers. I'm just parking up at the mill here. See, Dusty must already be here. The truck's here. Let's get out and have a look around. One of the things we want to check down here is the state of the stone crusher. We've got the kipper here, which is absolutely packed full of stones. We need to get those tipped off later on and in there for crushing. The mill itself is pretty much done. They're just drying the last few bits, but we are all done in terms of crops. And as you can see, there's no more output. So we'll check on the bakers shortly as we head up there as well. Let's just go round here and have a look at the state of these fields that we did at the end of last month. Field 21 is looking good. Wheat in here, which is going to go straight into the mill behind me, and we are at 98% yield bonus. Not entirely sure what we need to do to get to that top 100, but there we go, 98 is close enough. Just heading over the road here and having a look at field 20. Same state of affairs, but this one has barley, and so does our top field up there, field 18. These two are going to feed the brewery, and of course anything that we've got left in terms of excess can go into the mill as well. Now, field 19, as you know, had all of our potatoes in, and it's a pretty sizable field in all fairness. And we are done. We have limed it, and I think it's got first stage of fertilization as well. So this really needs cultivating, and then we can think about putting a crop in here. Having a look at the crop calendar, we're in October, so wheat and barley are the two that we need to get in if we're going to put them in. We're only going to put wheat into the fields up by the homestead now. So actually, the field in front of us, field 19, I think we'll put potatoes back in. And yeah, we can do that in March or April. And then last but not least is our field here full of sunflowers. These are ready to harvest. As far as I can see, they are looking really good. Yeah, they are fully grown now. We've got a range of yield bonuses depending on where they are in a field. That's fine. Once this field has been harvested, then we can absolutely make sure that we get everything in there and maximize everything. But again, I think we may put sunflowers back in here, or you know what? I think we'll just swap things over. We'll have the spuds in this field because it's not quite so big, and then we'll put the sunflowers up there in field 19. Let's pull into the bakers here and just see how things are. I'm not sure if they've had any flour for a while now, so I don't think... Oh no, tell a lie, look, 4 pallets of bread. So that's something else which we can pick up. In fact, what's the bed like on this? I don't think it's as big as my truck, but I can certainly try and get these on. And yes, we can fit 4 on the back just as we can on the other truck. Autumn's really starting to come into season now. I love the golden oranges and ambers and reds that you see on the leaves. Look at it down there. It looks lovely. Okay, let's just have a little cruise past Dusty's threads here on the left hand side. Okay, so we've got 2 pallets of clothes there. We'll pick those up as well later on. I don't think they'll get them on the back now. I'm just going to head straight down to the sawmill and see how things are looking over there. So yeah, there's a couple coming out. I know the boys have been stacking everything round the side. Yeah, so there's a couple there. Let's just have a swing around. Oh, more than a couple actually. 2, 4, 6, 8. So there'll be 16 there. And there's 2 out there. Right, okay, so that's still being very productive. I do think we need to have a look at the state of the wood though, because we must be running low on that. Right, let's step into the carpentry. We'll head round the back. In fact, I'll hop out here, I think. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, good. So we've got 3 there. Any more around the back? No, so just the 3. That's good. Early days. I just want to make sure that there's enough wood in both this and the sawmill to make sure that this production keeps going, because furniture does pay a good whack when it comes to selling day, as does clothes, and as we know, silage as well. Those are our 3 key markets at the moment. Right, let's head back to the warehouse and see how everything's doing up there. You can see all the machinery that we have just sort of kind of randomly parked up here. It's fine, it's not going to rain for a while, there's certainly nothing on the horizon, so I'm not concerned about leaving things outside. Okay, let's have a park up and a walk around the estate. Well, the old barn's empty, as you'd expect. So we have, wow, yes, a lot of tomatoes, so we're going to need to come and collect these up. I suspect there's probably a bit of a backlog there. How's the water doing? Yeah, water's fine. Lettuce, absolutely bucket loads of lettuce. That is going to be, I think, our biggest seller when it comes to December, January time. I think we've got absolutely hordes of lettuce. I expect we're pulling at least about 120, maybe 130 grand with that stuff. More lettuce, and there should be, as we've seen on the other side, yeah, a whole load of tomatoes this side. So all of that stuff needs putting into the warehouse, and we'll do that later on today. We've got a whole load of beer. Looks like the boys have just been randomly shoving stuff out just to get it out of the actual production chain here. So yeah, loads of beer. Again, I think we're really onto something now. We've got a real good operation going on. And Jesus, wow, we've got an awful lot of honey as well. So the honey probably can go in storage, because I think the brewery's got enough to supply its needs for creating honey beer. Right, so that's pretty much everything in terms of production chains. Let me just have a quick look on the PDA and see if there's anything I've missed. Right, it's a quick skim through. We know there are no grains in the mill, so nothing's being output there. The sawmill, wow, is really low on wood. Okay, we need to do something about that. It's absolutely packed full of planks, so I'm not too concerned about the furniture continuing, but we need to do something about wood. We are going to have a session of felling, I think probably next month. Let's have a look at the wool. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we know we've got an absolute packet load back on the homestead, so we'll bring that down. I would love to get into cotton at some point. I think we're going to get greater yields for that, but again, that's a huge amount of machinery required to do that. Dusty's thread. So yeah, the fabric's coming from the spinnery. That's all good. I think that production chain now, as long as we keep the sheep fed with grass, is fairly self-sustaining. Carpentry should be in a similar situation. Yes, wood is down to 0, which means we are not making any furniture through wood alone. That would explain why we haven't got so many pallets over there. But planks, yeah, planks are fine. Plenty of planks. Okay, wood is going to be a priority for November. Lime, we've got water in there, and we need to get some more in there with the Bowser and stones. I wonder if it's worth actually just hooking up some water direct to it, so we don't have to keep worrying about the Bowser. Then we can probably get rid of that, in all honesty. So we've got lots of stones to stick in there. And as we know, the beer is doing really well. So we've got loads of water. That's all plumbed in now. Wheat, yes. Barley, yes. Honey, yes. Strawberries, tons. That is generating lots. And I won't bother going through the greenhouses because we know the state of affairs there. And bread, actually that's quite surprising. It's still got quite a lot of flour there, so that's good. Right, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a rather comprehensive and in-depth update of where we are on the farm after the chaos that was the last 2 months of harvest season. But now let's get back on track and go and get some work done.
Well, howdy y'all. How have you all been? Feels like it's been a while since I've seen everyone. God, we've been so busy over the summer here in Erlengrad. Well, I suppose you guys already know. You're watching us through that video thing on those internets. Speaking of which, YouTube guy says I gotta have a rap down on some of you guys. Some of you ain't actually subscribed. What does that even mean? I don't know, but anyway, he said something about a button and a clicking, or I don't know. You guys work it out, but hey, all I'm saying, help a brother out, okay? Keeps the YouTube guy off my back, and as long as he's happy, then everyone around here seems to be happy, animals included. As you can see, I got a fair few bales to pick up here. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. Get those stored over in the warehouse.
Most important thing I want to do this month is get our sunflowers harvested, so it's time to jump in the old twin screw, get ourselves headed down there and get that underway. That's our standard header just there. The corn header is already down there, so we can head straight down. Once Dusty's finished gathering up all the silage, I think he can come back with the truck and start to move all these pallets around as well, so at least we can keep things tidy and all our fresh fruit and veg stowed away in our warehouse. There we are, the header is just there on the left hand side, so I'm going to creep myself around. The crops are already growing, they're looking good, so the barley is rocking and rolling. Let me get myself hitched up, and then it's time for a bit of harvest. I've stuck the header nice and out of the way here, so I shall just grab that off the trailer. Steady, steady. Right, we're on. Right, time to get unfolded and get ready for some harvest. There she goes. I love that. I absolutely love the way that this header unfolds. It just feels almost futuristic. I think we're set. Just before I set off, something was beeping in the cab there. I don't know what the problem is. I think we're going to be fine. Just checking. Yeah, everything's linked up properly. Nothing over this side. No, I think we're going to be fine. Okay, let's get back on board. I'm going to do a single headland with my pipe on the left, so going clockwise. And let me get this on. Yes, okay, it's time to head on in.
Well, I got my second load on here. We don't seem to have got as much grass as we would normally. I wonder if we ain't pounding the land a bit too hard here. We might have to invest in some more land, get ourselves some more grass. Anyway, I'm gonna run this down to the warehouse, and I'm thinking I might even bring down the mower, do some verges around those fields. Geez, I don't know if they've even ever been done before.
Well, we do have a bit of an issue, and it's just a bit of a faux pas on my part here. Looking at the foliage, this is very green, which means it's still growing. It's not drying out or going brown yet, which means that these aren't quite ready. And I didn't check that, I just went by the annual calendar, which, as you can see, if we go across to sunflowers, it says they should be ready to harvest in October. But I don't know when they were actually put in by the previous farmer before we bought this field. So it may well have been quite late in the season, maybe even at the end of April. So we're going to have to push on. If they're ready at the end of this month, then great, we'll crack on. Otherwise, we are going to have to wait until November. So for now, I'm going to pack away the header, put it back on the trailer. We can leave that all down here, and I'm going to have to push on with a different job. Let me get the header folded up then. There we go. Feel like I'm going around in circles, but never mind. Such is. I should have checked the crop before I came down here to harvest. I've left the twin screw here down by the mill just in case that crop is ready later on. It may not be, but even if so, if we come down here in November, it means we don't have to drive it all the way back up to the warehouse again. So, what am I going to work on next? I'm jumping back in my truck. I'm going to head back to the homestead and pick up the lorry. Then we can load on with, what have we got up there? Eggs, I think. We've definitely got wool. All of that stuff can then go back into production chains. And once I've got the truck down here, I can just have a bit of a tidy up around the warehouse. Dusty is on his way back down. He's actually going to mow some verges, believe it or not. So I think in about an hour's time, once we've done these small jobs, we can get on with a bit more field work. I think we're going to need to go and buy ourselves a planter for some spuds. Certainly is a beautiful day, especially as we turn up here at the homestead. Right, we've got our field up there that needs tending to. As we can see, that's been limed, so we need to get some crop in there. But we can worry about the crops later on. Let's carry on with the plan, grab the truck and get things down into the spinnery. Wow, look at all those eggs. That is probably the most amount of wool we've ever actually had up here, ready to go down to the spinnery.
I'm gonna crack on with these verges, as I say. Me and the YouTube guy can meet up in about an hour or so. Then we can get these fields sorted as well.
I have got 3 pallets left and I am fully laden. I haven't even touched the eggs yet, so I'm just going to have to run these up and then do a couple of trips. Bit frustrating, but I didn't actually have the trailer with me. Yeah, I'm going to have to do 2 trips here, so okay, so be it. Let's get it done. Look at these verges. Dusty's been doing a great job. Yes. There he is. Well, that's where the tractor is anyway. He's probably grabbed himself a quick coffee from town. Ah, that field needs dealing with, but we need to go and buy ourselves a piece of machinery for that. Oh, you know what that means. A trip to Klaus's store. I'm actually going to back in for a change because it's actually probably easier to get out that way. Check my mirrors. There we go. Steady, steady Eddie. Let's get the straps off. Go on, last one. Just have to give this one a bit of a nudge by hand. Go on. Yes, there we go. We're all done. While I'm here then, I am going to head over to the store because I want to see if we can purchase a planter for planting spuds in the ground for next season. We've got the equipment, we may as well keep churning out potatoes. And the other thing I want to pick up is a couple of pallets or big crates of wheat. That's the wheat loaded on just 4 bags. It may seem crazy, it seems crazy to me, but we have actually used all our wheat from our harvest already. The chickens, they are ravenous. You wouldn't believe how much wheat they actually consume. So next year I'm going to have to make sure we hold even more back. But now I'm having a quick look at the planters in the store, and I am looking at these two here, the 3665 Blue Drive and the Tempo L16. The Tempo has the ability to add fertilizer as well, which I always think is massively helpful, especially when there's only two of us running the farm and we're trying to save time. We are looking at a huge $160,000 bucks here, but it will do corn and sunflowers, beans, and should we wish to, cotton. So that is worth bearing in mind. So for now, we're going to leave the planters and just hope that something comes up in the sales. We've got a little while before we need to plant that field. I'm going to head this over to the chickens, pick up the rest of the eggs, and then I'll be free to help Dusty out with some field work.
That didn't take too long at all. That's all my verge is done. Better go grab the windrower now and the baler.
I'm in position, I just need to locate the bags and get them tipped off here. So I'll do that shortly and then I'll get everything loaded on. I just had a thought that while I'm up here, I may as well grab the Landini and seed that field with wheat, get that done before heading back down to the city centre. So that is absolutely something I can do as soon as I've got this little job done first. There we go, that's just unloading. And it's done. Everything's loaded on the back of the lorry there. I've just chucked in the last bit of grass, and as you can see, all the sheep are over here having a little nibble. They are happy as you like. The grain that's gone into the chickens is just really a drop in the ocean. They take so much. It's something I really am going to have to plan for next season to make sure that the chickens are happy and that we don't have to keep buying grain when actually we're growing it. So I'm massively underestimating the need of the chickens. The grass is fine, we have enough grass, and obviously we have a whole field out there, we can always grab more, and I'll just make sure we have some in the silo for over winter. So the sheep will be fine, but yes, I do need to pay a little bit more close attention to our chickens, because right now, look at their health, they are not happy, they have been grossly underfed, and that's my own fault. Well, I'm nicely laden, so I'm going to head this down to the spinnery, get these last 3 pallets of wool into that production chain, then I can drop the eggs off at the warehouse, and then I'm actually going to have a bit of a change of tack. I've got an idea up my sleeve. I'll leave the lorry down here and just quickly swap for the Landini, as I mentioned a moment ago. You'll notice that the small seeder is still in the barn here. We had planned to sell that when we picked up the massive one down in the city centre. However, it doesn't make sense hauling massive pieces of equipment around all the time. So the idea was actually, we will keep hold of this. This is perfect for these 2 fields until we decide to do something else with the land. For now, they are, for all intents and purposes, feeding the animals. So yeah, we may as well keep this little piece. It's doing well, it's not broken. We won't make much money for it anyway, so that's the plan. I've checked the hopper in the seeder, we've got plenty of wheat seed in there, so we can just crack on with this, I think. Just make sure I've got everything on. Yeah, that's all good. Right, let's drop this down. We're all good, and we can head off. So this will be the last job, I think, for the season in terms of field work up by the homestead. And we've got enough. Well, it's not enough, is it? We've just said that. We don't really have enough corn and wheat to feed the chickens, but it's what it is. And for now, this is how we're operating at the homestead. It is telling me that we need to purchase some more fields, possibly in the local area. And that's something we can have a look at over the next month or so. But once I've done this, and I've dropped off the wool at the spinnery, then I want you to join me because I've got an idea and I think you're going to like it. I can see plenty of bales around here. 3 in the distance, 2 there, 3 there. Dusty's really pushing on, he's doing a great job. Well, I reckon we're going to end up with at least maybe another dozen bales just by doing the verges around our fields. Not only that, it means that we can keep pests away and we can see where the edge of our land is, so it's all good stuff. I think we've caught up with time. It's just coming up to 1 o'clock and just looking at the status of the load on the back of this lorry here, 16,800 units of eggs and 3,000 litres of wool. I'm going to back in again carefully here. I think that's the best way forward when I've got a dual load on. And just hope that we don't have any issues. I think we'll be fine. We'll watch the HUD. There we go. And the wool has gone. Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to head up to the warehouse, offload these eggs, and then we're going to have a bit of fun. Goodness me, yes, I do need to come up here and have a bit of a tidy up. Dusty and I have been moving bits of machinery around all day long and there is stuff everywhere. Still, there is a path through to the warehouse. So I'll just pull up, get these unloaded. And off they go. Last few, almost done. Right.
Just on the last bit here, and then I'm pretty much done. I'm real surprised how many bales we got out of this lot. I think we got almost as much as our entire paddock back at the homestead. Well, there we go. I best go meet up with the YouTube guy. He said he got something important to tell me. So what's on your mind, computer guy?
Potatoes.
What do you mean, potatoes?
Well, exactly that, Dusty. Potatoes. We've got all those potatoes, right? They're in the silo, they're fine, they will sell at the right time down at the supermarket.
Yeah, and we're gonna make ourselves a pretty little buck on that load.
We will, yes we will, but what if we could make more?
What do you mean?
Come on Dusty, you're not putting on your business head. Why don't we start a potato production chain?
Well, yeah, we could, but I don't recollect any potato productions being available in this region.
Ah, well that is where you're wrong, because there is one. So why don't we have a bit of a think of where we can place it, get the construction guys in, and then we'll be set.
If you think that's the plan, I'm happy to go along.
Trust me, Dusty, nothing can go wrong. So this is where we are, up at the main warehouse with the greenhouses and the brewery. That's all good. Now we did look at this area here before. If I just go to farmland, so this is number 30. We have this nice sizable field. We've also got these 2 chunks of grass, and we know grass is good for silage. I just want to zoom out here and compare the size of field 4 to 19. They are very similar in size. The other thing we could do is we could try and place a production building somewhere around here. We've got potentially a bit of space here at the top of 18, right on the road. That could work. We're not going to fit it in our main area here because we've got fencing and there just isn't really enough space. And I kind of want to keep that fairly open as it is right now. We could maybe reclaim a bit of field 19 if we didn't really want to spend any money on land. How much is this bit of land here? Let's just have a check. 285. We'd be looking at another 50 grand. Yeah, 50, 60 grand for the actual building. Let me have a bit of a think about this and come back to you. We've certainly got options, Dusty. It just depends really on how much you want to spend.
We got the money. I'd rather hold on to it, trying to get up to that $750,000 mark, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know, that is the next milestone before we hit that 1 million in the bank goal that we've always been aiming for.
What do you think's the quickest way then, computer guy? Spend money now and reap the rewards later on, or hold on to it?
Well, I'm never one for saving. I'd rather speculate and invest, personally.
You're the one with the business head. I'll take your word for it.
It's a real conundrum. Do we want to spend over $340,000 bucks to purchase this plot of land immediately in front of me here? Let's just step over. There's no traffic coming. So this is it. I mean, it's nice and flat here. So if we wanted to put our production chain right in the middle of this, we could easily pull in some roads. We're right next to our main area up there. And we've got a field to boot. So this could almost be an entire self-contained production area, if you know what I mean. We could almost put a barn down here to store our potato machinery in and literally just convert this whole area to potatoes. We might even want to go as far as to widen this field a bit. We've got all this area here. Yes, grass is good, but who knows how much we can make on potatoes. Then if we skip round the edge here, we have also all of this land up here, and it's flat to a degree. It starts to bank up there. Ah, it's a tough one. And I think it's one we are going to have to answer next episode, ladies and gentlemen. We are finishing on a cliffhanger. It doesn't happen that often, but I just cannot make my mind up. So join us next episode to see whether or not we actually go ahead with a potato production chain, whether we buy this land immediately in front of me now, including that field, and what we do with it all. Till next time, take care. Bye-bye.